Kevin, we're in the second week of June now. This is traditionally a bit of a downtime for, WWE, wrestling generally. But hey, at least we've still got some things to discuss today. There's Dom Mysterio and his side chick, Liv Morgan, in the hottest storyline WWE's seen in a little while. We've got the powerful story of Ricochet wanting to opt out of his contract and go to AEW. We'll discuss that a bit. We're not going to discuss anything Vince McMahon. Kevin's video covers all of that on his channel. Go give it a look. The algorithms just totally disregarded that video, so go support that video. But nonetheless,
Please.
pal, Clash of the Castle is the main reason we're here. How you doing, pal?
I'm good, pal. Yeah, Triple H has successfully blocked my last two videos for his own personal agenda. It's crazy how I go from getting like 8,000 views on one video, and then like as soon as I post a video about China, pal, that gets destroyed, and then Vincent Kennedy McMahon gets destroyed in the algorithm. It's unfair and unjust. So I guess I would say I'm doing good, but I'm a little bothered by YouTube's algorithm.
I mean, fair enough. I can't blame you. I just want to jump right into just praise and
Yeah,
just go on about how good this is. The Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan storyline. I think it's fantastic.
yeah,
As far as what they're actually doing, this is taking characters on the show who are, let's say, at a 7 out of 10 as
yeah.
far as their reaction, their investment from people watching the show, and turning up to 11. This is getting the most out of everyone involved in this storyline. This has made me interested in Finn Balor. That's the level to which this storyline is going so far. Now, when Finn Balor comes out, I'm like, oh my God, what's he going to do? What's he going to say? Where's he going to stand? I've never thought that about Finn Balor. For 8 years, Fergal's ran out there, being like, who cares?
Yeah.
Balor, meh. He's going to have a good match. Great. Who cares? Now, I'm watching, what's he going to do? What's he going to say? Liv Morgan's role in this, tremendous. Best thing she's been a part of in wrestling, just like without a doubt. This is getting the most views by far. I can only speak from the YouTube side of this. I'm not over on TikTok, or I'm not, critically analyzing ratings. I'm not someone who's like a paid company ambassador pal who's there to analyze ratings and debate people on Twitter about it. But what I am here to do is tell you the YouTube numbers. On YouTube, this after a couple of days has over 1 million views, and then the other clip of it with the opening segment has like nearly 900,000. Compare that to everything else going on Raw, SmackDown, what have you. Cody and Styles has 550-ish thousand views at the moment. And then, Sami Zayn and Chad Gable has about 350, 400,000. And everything else is just, tanking it. At the moment, the interest generally across the board isn't great, but the WWE are doing a few things, specifically this Dom and Liv Morgan storyline, that's really capturing attention. I'm watching these segments. Like, these are the segments which I miss Raw. I'm like, what did Dom and Liv do? That's my state with Monday Night Raw at the moment. I'm not trying to watch a 3 hour show back to watch some good matches. I'm just going, look, what did Dom say? What did Dom do? What did Liv say? Was there any interaction there? Did Fergal get involved? When's Rhea Ripley coming back? How are they progressing the storyline? I'm genuinely interested to see, which from a WWE and a wrestling point of view is all you can really ask for. I'm invested. I'm interested. I'm entertained by what they're doing. I find it fun because you have Dom Mysterio, who the memes are everywhere. Dom with wife, Dom with girlfriend, Dom with side chick, and they got all that stuff. The comparisons to Eddie Guerrero, pal. I just want to hear your opinion on this. As a guy who grew up loving Eddie
Yeah.
and idolizing it, now you're watching Eddie's son
Yeah.
running around there with like a million different women. What are your thoughts, pal? What do you think?
I mean, he's doing the full Latino Heat gimmick. He's got the mullet and the mustache that Eddie rocked back during that era. I don't know if you can see it in the camera shot, but I have the Latino Heat Funko Pop behind me. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, shout out to that. But yeah, it's really interesting to see, and like trying to think of how to phrase this. For a guy like Dominic Mysterio, remember like 2019, 2020 when he first like started getting his feet wet? And everybody was like, "Oh, this guy is only here because he's Rey Mysterio's son." Like that's
Yeah.
literally the only reason why he has a contract right now. And he's gone from like being like he was gonna get future endeavored. Who knows? I don't know if that's real or not, but it seemed like he was gonna get future endeavored any minute. And then now he's the most interesting thing on WWE TV. And
Yeah.
he's been that at certain points in his career already, with the storyline with his father, WrestleMania 39. That was the most interesting thing to a lot of people going into that show. And
Yeah.
now it's just clearly by and large like he's the most interesting person by far on the show. Go ahead.
And I love that you touch on that because, like, now that gets my wheels turning. I'm thinking, so yeah, Dom comes in like 2020, this raw kid, some just like skinny dude who's obviously raised his dad, as we know, but it's still like, okay, well, this guy's here and great. More nepotism in wrestling. Fantastic. Whoa, who cares? And Seth Rollins carries him to an incredible match at SummerSlam. You think, okay, Seth Rollins get a good match out of a broom, whatever. Entertain me, Dom, do something. And he's there a while. He's there a while. He has a storyline with his dad, which was really like the oh wow, like that was the arrival of Dominic Mysterio, and then the work of the Judgment Day that's really cemented him as a legitimate guy on Raw and just the company generally. And now this, like this is further taking him to the next level. Like he's a legitimate main event guy now. Like there's no way of changing that. As I said, I'm watching Raw or I'm not watching Raw. I'm thinking, what did Dom do? That's how you know you're either a main event guy or you're damn near very close, or what you're doing is just generally very compelling. And it brings me to a bigger question, pal. We'll see how this plays out. This could well be the best storyline in wrestling for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
It could well. With what's going on at the moment, not a lot, to be honest. Not a whole hell of a lot's going on. This is the storyline. If this is the best storyline all summer, which it could well be, you juxtapose that with what he did with his dad and the storylines of WrestleMania 39, or the best storyline leading up to WrestleMania 39, the stuff of the Judgment Day. Could Dom main event a WrestleMania sooner than later?
I don't
Because
know.
I mean, you just I remember you discussed this last year. You were like, I mean, Dom is a world champion, something I can legitimately see happening very sooner rather than later. I went, oh, didn't think of that. And then I'm watching this thinking, well, yeah, obviously you've got your top star. You got Cody, you've got Roman, you got like Hollywood Rock Pal come back whenever he feels like it. So I guess, from that point of view, yeah, you've got your established, A1 guys who are just going to take those spots probably anyway. But Dom is doing a lot right, and he's tracking in a really good direction. He's getting the right reactions, getting booed. And I was like, I don't know, just throwing it out there. I think sooner rather
Yeah.
than later, pal.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he could main event WrestleMania. We'll see. We'll see. That's a spot reserved for very few talents, pal. So
Mhm.
I don't know if he's quite at that level. I don't know. I don't know if he's on the same like marquee as of like a Roman Reigns, a Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, those kind of guys. I don't know if he's quite there yet, but he can easily get there. And I know, yeah, I've said world champion for sure. He could do it. Um, and Liv Morgan too. On the other side of this, Liv Morgan is also doing the most interesting work of her career as well. Like, and this is it's more of an outlier for Liv Morgan because we've seen Dom hit this peak before, hit this level of interest. Liv Morgan, we never really seen it, you know. So, and on top of that, I don't know. Like, do you feel like Liv Morgan would be in this position if Rhea Ripley didn't get hurt? Like, do you think that she would have ever gotten to the top as a women's champion? Like, not to discredit her, but if we're being real here, do you think she ever would have got there?
Well, Rhea's injury was her like butterfly effect moment, pal. For using a term from the wrestling community that's popped off recently, that was the moment where, yeah, I'm sure if Rhea's still running around, leading the Judgment Day, yelling at people, Judgment Day beat people up and stand tall as a heel stable. Liv Morgan's just floating around the mid card. That's probably what would have happened. So to answer the question, would this have happened? No. Like this is all manifested because yeah, Rhea's injured, and now they can really play out this storyline of Liv trying to get everything from Rhea. Take Dom, take the championship, take her pride, all this business, and it's working out really well. So yeah, and got to praise Liv. I mean, her role in this is great. They're sort of a little bit going for this like 2012 AJ Lee sort of stuff, but making it a bit less cringe and over the top. Like I
Right.
didn't like 2012 AJ when she was like obviously AJ Lee, April Mendez is like 4'11", jumping on Kane, making out with Kane. You got
John Cena.
SummerSlam WWE Championship matches are being like halted in the middle of the match. AJ's running down there in general manager costume. Stop the match or restart the bell. Cena, CM Punk, restart. Like they're making like the biggest stars in the company all about AJ. That sort of stuff. I was like, this is forced. This is not it. This is legitimately good. This has its place. It makes storyline sense. She's doing her role brilliantly, and it makes you wonder. And like you look at it from I guess, like a female wrestling point of view. This is how Liv Morgan's elevated to the next level. You look at how some female wrestlers try and do it. It's how good your matches are. You know, in Jade Cargill's case, it's just because she's like a one of one, like OMG attraction. For other wrestlers, it's been, like a promo or what have you. For Sasha Banks, it can be promo segments or just leaving generally, or like, wrestling. It depends. But for Liv, this storyline is just fantastic. As I said, it has made me interested in Finn Balor, which is just, I never thought I'd say that. So shout out again.
Absolutely. All right. So in other news, we got to talk Ricochet. The news broke yesterday, I want to say, that Ricochet he's already informed WWE that once his contract expires, he's not interested in renegotiating, has no plans on re-signing. He's going to go test the waters in free agency. I assume Mr. Tony Khan has given him a nice offer. He wants to have Ricochet and Will Ospreay on his pay-per-view. Presumably that'll be a pay-per-view match, one would hope. I do think Ricochet, first of all, like this is a big fish in comparison to like other free agents. Like we haven't really seen a lot of guys from WWE jump ship that have been like really big names. Like at least in recent, like that are younger, like current stars. The Edge and Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. Like I'm not putting them in this boat. Ricochet is a guy that, like he's for one word, a lot of people would sum him up as like potential, right? Everybody thought, oh, Ricochet is going to be this big deal in WWE. And then for whatever reason, Vince McMahon just heard him talk on a microphone once and was like, oh, this guy, nah, undercard, pal. And then in the Triple H regime, he kind of gets built up a little bit. And then it was like, oh, wait, they're going to do something with Ricochet. He has this big match with Logan Paul. And then that was it. Had that big match with Logan Paul. It didn't really live up to expectations in a lot of people's eyes. And then that was kind of it for him. He was just floating around on the undercard. And now he was given the, what is that called? Speed Championship? In the X exclusive, like 2-minute matches. Like, I'm sure that was the final straw for him. He was like, all right, like I'm definitely better than this like internet championship. Like, what am I, Zack Ryder in 2010, bro? I'm walking around with the internet championship. Like, no, he could do better than that. I do think Ricochet is a big get for AEW, and like we talked about before, AEW and Tony Khan, he's got to keep the 750,000 people that watch his show on a regular basis. He's got to keep them watching. Bringing Ricochet in is a guy that's going to keep people watching, and they could get a little bit of mustard out of him and Ospreay and him and Danielson. I mean, there's plenty of matches for him, and I do think he'll actually showcase what he can actually do, and we could see a side of Ricochet that maybe we've never seen before, even before his WWE career. I do think he can be like, I don't want to say a game changer because that word is just silly, but I do think he can actually be a big time player in AEW if it works out correctly. Not anyone that's going to draw ratings and merchandise and like, somebody you can put on the marquee and sell a pay-per-view, but I do think Ricochet will be a big star, like kind of like a Swerve Strickland, like that.
And that's I was going to ask you exactly that. There are two sorts of, I guess WWE signings that go into AEW. You've got the Swerve Strickland, the one who makes an impact, actually gets better in AEW, which, I mean, there's sort of few and far between, but like a Swerve Strickland is the big example of someone who leaves WWE to go to AEW and excels and establishes themselves as the guy, as him, pal. And then you've got everyone else. You've got, Keith Lee. Let's just say, we'll use a blanket term. Are you Swerve Strickland or are you going to be Keith Lee? Are you going to be a guy who leaves and there's some promise there and then goes to AEW and it just falls absolutely on its face? And it's just like, who cares? Like, what's the purpose of this? So from the Ricochet point of view, I think just at this stage now in early to mid-June 2024, it should fall somewhere in the middle or leaning towards the Swerve Strickland. With what you mentioned towards the Will Ospreay thing, which is clearly what they want to do, like you say, Tony Khan wants to appease those 750,000 viewers. He wants a new shiny toy who, if you put Ricochet's name on the same line of the Excel spreadsheet as Will Ospreay's name with All In or with Full Gear or with a TV special written as far as the show.
Oh, that's a 7-star match before the bell rings. Easy.
Exactly right. Those two could walk in the ring, drop their pants, take a dump, leave, and it's 6 stars. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
And who cares? Like, they're going to go out there, do some gymnastics, do some flipping around, do some choreographed acrobatics for 20 minutes, and it'll be called the best thing we've ever seen. Like, and we expect that's what's going to happen. So for Ricochet, yeah, go for it. Like, what are you doing in WWE? You win the Speed Championship, which is the WWE Attention Deficit Disorder Championship. Oh, the matches have to be shorter than 3 minutes or whatever. It's like, Okay. Like, great. So you win WWE's ADHD championship and you face Logan Paul in a match at SummerSlam that falls flat. And your previous highlight to that was Brock Lesnar squashing you in 80 seconds in the guts of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in early 2022 or
That
2020. No,
is
no,
that is
2020.
that all he's
It was
done?
2020.
I
It was
guess that
literally
is
the
that
same.
like the big all his big moments since he's come to the main roster.
So it was the match against Brock Lesnar at Super Showdown 2020, where it was an 80-second squash.
Yeah, Logan
Uh,
Paul,
Logan
SummerSlam.
Paul, that storyline where like see Logan Paul was calling out Samantha Owen, being like, "I'm gonna beat your man in front of you." There was that. There was like a match against Gunther for the IC title. It was
Wait,
pretty
wait,
good in like
wait, wait.
2022.
How good would that storyline have been had Ricochet mentioned Logan Paul's fiance? Huge missed opportunity. I'm just saying.
Oh, I know. I couldn't agree more, pal. And then yeah, recently he's won the WWE ADD championship. Great. You know, okay, the
Did he
matches that
win
can't
any?
go
Did
wrong
he
with
win like a
20 minutes.
U.S. title or anything? Did he win an Intercontinental Championship, Tag Team Championship? I
Well,
don't.
the thing is, he has won those mid
He
card
has
belts.
won a
He
couple.
has won
Yeah,
them,
okay, he has. I know he won the North American title in NXT. That was kind of
but
big.
it's not memorable, is it?
Yeah, it's not right.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you the top couple of things. When I think, what did Ricochet do? I think, yeah, squash by Brock, match with Logan Paul, and then yeah, he lost to Gunther in a title match, and then this recent like the ADD things are so recently. Like that's what I think about. And you notice with that, right? I think about what happened with Brock Lesnar. I think about what happened with Logan Paul. My mind views those guys, just Brock Lesnar, Logan Paul, they're above the US and the IC championships in the hierarchy of the WWE.
Right.
Like I thought about the match against Logan Paul more than I think of a mid card like an IC or a US title. Just interesting one to keep that in mind. You know, it's the wrestlers above the anyway.
Right. But yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
so
beside the point. Either way, he's gonna eclipse his career in WWE with AEW. I
yeah,
assume. I
easily.
assume he'll win a mid card championship. You know, maybe he'll dethrone Adam Copeland. You know, maybe he'll dethrone Will Ospreay for the TBS championship. He might even win the big one. He might even win the AEW title.
No, he's not. No, he is not.
You
He's
never
not
know.
winning the AW World Champion.
You
I'm
never
putting it
know.
on record now. Ricochet will not win the AW World
All right,
Championship.
let's say this. Hypothetically, let's play this out just for a moment. Let's say Ricochet goes to AEW, kills it with Will Ospreay, and he shows like an evolution in his character and like his mic skills, right? And then he goes in there and he has a promo with MJF, a promo off, and he stands toe to toe with MJF. What would you like? What would you say? Like, are you at the point where that is like a 0% chance? Like, nah, that'll never happen. Ricochet doesn't have that in him. And then if he does have it in him, you'll have to apologize. Like, where are you at with this?
As in, like I could visualize them doing it. Like, I don't think it would. Like, I don't think MJF would like end his career or anything because it's not like this is The Rock. Like, it's not like it's a guy who's so established, so like end game. He's just like
Well, MJF is the Rock of AEW's roster. When you think about it, I mean, who else is gonna have? Who else has that power on the microphone? It's not gonna be Jericho.
Oh god, don't even mention his name. How dare you? But yeah, like I could see them doing it, and MJF's just like I guess you could say winning the segment, but not really embarrassing him. I could just say Ricochet being like probably I'm a better wrestler than you. Like I fight and scratch and claw for everything. You know, like, I'm going to show you and prove you wrong at our match on Dynamite next week, like whatever.
So you don't think he has an epic promo off with MJF in him?
Well, it's the same thing as Mercedes Moné. I don't associate these people with being great mic workers. Like they can cut a decent promo. Sure, their first couple promos. Oh my god, wow, they're in AEW. Oh wow, what are they going to say? Oh, I'm home. I love this. This is the revolution. I'm here for you. Rah rah. We're the revolution. And then it's about what happens then because people are finding out Mercedes Moné isn't a great promo.
Yeah.
Like she's not, like as far as carrying a storyline on the microphone, she's not got. And I don't know. I don't want to be down on this. I want to be upbeat. Ricochet, they're going to come out of the blocks hard with a big match and storyline with Will Ospreay, as we know. They're going to blitz out of the gates. What they do from there, dethroning a TBS champion, defeating Adam Copeland, who knows? As long as it's not what they do with Ricky Starks, where he has a good, promising match or storyline, then he's nowhere to be found for 3 months. And then all of a sudden he's back with a promising storyline. Then he's back to catering for 2 months. Oh, he's on Rampage, pal. Oh, is that Ricky Starks on AEW Dark, pal?
Oh my
on
god.
Collision, How? It's Ricochet, John. And you have Taz screaming, Ricochet's on Collision. You know, it's like, okay. Like,
Alright.
I just want to see where this is in a year, but it's going to come out really strong in the first 3 to 6 months. He's going to be like the big game changer for the back half of 2024 for AEW. It's just what they do after the Ospreay thing. Is it just a TBS title match and then fade into obscurity? Is it just by January 2025? Is he sitting in catering for a one-off good match against Malachi Black? I just want to see where they go with it because I'm scarred based on how Tony Khan's used his roster in the past 2 years. I need to see more, but nonetheless, pal, it should be good. Any more thoughts from you?
Yeah, I wanna stay on the AEW train just for a moment. A little side tangent here
Yeah.
about the AEW Fight Forever video game, pal. So I saw a tweet, and I don't know if it was real or not, if it was Photoshop, but apparently somebody found it in the clearance bin at Walmart, selling for $3. Oof. That's just, man, tough to see. That game has so much hype. A lot of people are like, "Oh, this is gonna save wrestling games, pal," and now it's in a clearance bin for $3. Did you pick up your copy of Fight Forever, pal? It's free right now on PlayStation Plus. If you have a PlayStation Plus subscription, you can get it for free. So
I'm not.
no
It's not even worth
excuses.
it's not even worth getting it for free. And like, pal, yeah, I mean, I won't go on much about it, but like, this
Yeah,
has come full circle. I'm getting vivid memories right now. It's 2020. We're in the pandemic. Not much is really positive. Everything you hear on every news, every YouTube, everything's negative. AEW's doing Fight Forever. AEW's doing a video game. Oh wow. Oh my god.
I was
Like
hyped for it.
that was in the time of WWE 2K20.
Yeah,
That was when like they didn't even release 2K21 because the games were just that bad. Like they had to do WWE Battleground and like that was a time where you thought, okay, AEW's gonna come in with this new game. They're gonna change wrestling games as we know it. It's gonna be like, oh my god. And now we sit here 3.5 years later. It took like 2.5 years to come out, and now it's in a clearance bin at Walmart. Like whatever. Sure, it's free on PlayStation. It's sad because that's the same state which like PlayStation 2 games that are 15 years old find themselves in a clearance bin, just free on PlayStation. Like, okay.
yeah, it's really sad, unfortunate. But all right, pal.